If I only had $200 to spend, these are the budget phones I'd buy. Samsung Galaxy A16. The Samsung Galaxy A16 really punches above its weight, feeling more like a mid-range phone than a budget option. In my experience, the first thing that stands out is the 6.7-inch Super AMOLED display. It's bright and sharp, and the 90Hz refresh rate makes scrolling feel smooth indoors. While it handles basics like email and web browsing without a problem, I did notice some lag when quickly switching between apps or firing off a burst of photos. The build quality is solid, and the new IP54 splash resistance is a welcome addition for peace of mind in the rain. However, the screen is very reflective and struggles in direct sunlight, which can be frustrating when you're outside. It's the ideal choice for someone who values a premium feeling display for watching videos and wants the reliability of Samsung software support, as long as they don't push it too hard with multitasking. Motorola Moto G Play 2024. The Motorola Moto G Play is all about making compromises to hit a super low price point, and honestly, some of them are hard to swallow. The best thing it has going for it is the battery life. I could easily get through 2 full days of use without reaching for a charger, which is fantastic. The 90Hz refresh rate also makes the interface feel relatively fluid for a cheap phone, but that's where the praise ends for me. The 6.5-inch screen is only HD+ resolution, and it makes everything from YouTube videos to photos look soft and a bit blurry. Performance from the Snapdragon 680 chipset is just enough for the basics, but the software felt bogged down with ads and bloatware, which ruins Motorola's once clean experience. This phone is strictly for someone on the tightest budget who needs a battery that lasts for days and doesn't care much about screen quality, camera performance, or having features like NFC for payments. If I had to spend my $200 on one of these, I would buy the Samsung Galaxy A16 because its superior Full HD display and more robust performance make for a dramatically better day-to-day experience that justifies the small price gap. If my budget was $300, these are the budget phones I'd go for. Nothing Phone 2a. This one completely redefines what you can get at this price. I was genuinely surprised by how good the display is for under $300. With vibrant colors and a brightness that held up in direct sunlight, so binge-watching shows felt seriously premium. In daily use, it's fast and responsive thanks to the MediaTek chip, and I got nearly 2 days out of a charge without worrying about it heating up. Even during long gaming sessions, the battery life is much better than you'd expect for such a slim phone. And the plastic build, while not as glassy as glass, keeps the weight down and actually makes it less slippery, though it does feel a bit cheap in the hand. The camera handles low light surprisingly well, beating most budget phones I've used, though edge detail sometimes looks soft, and the cut-down glyph lighting isn't missed unless you're really into quirky features. I wish face unlock was quicker, but the fingerprint sensor works every time, and the whole UI feels clean and snappy. No bloat or lag to distract me. Honestly, if you care about battery life, display, and raw speeds over premium finishes, this phone delivers way above its price bracket, perfect for students and media junkies who want a stress-free all-day device. Moto G Stylus 5G 2024. If you want a budget phone that stands out for how practical it is, especially for note-takers, this is it. That stylus is actually useful and smooth, and the improved latency made doodling and jotting reminders shockingly fun and fast. The display pops with rich colors and gets plenty bright outdoors, though it doesn't match Nothing's insane battery life. Motorola's Eco leather back feels premium and much more expensive than plastic, and the stereo speakers get surprisingly loud, making this great for podcasts in crowded places. Camera upgrades this year mean photos are actually decent, especially in good light, but night shots are hit or miss, and I noticed Motorola has some catching up to do on software support. Updates aren't as guaranteed, the stylus apps are miles ahead of previous years, which really sets it apart if you're someone who sketches on the fly. But performance under heavy load sometimes shows its budget roots with occasional stutters when switching between demanding apps. If you need expandable storage and headphone jack in 2025, this is for you. And the battery still gets through a full day without drama. For creators, students, or who love handwriting notes, or anyone hooked on stylus features, this one's a standout. If I could only buy one for $300, I'd go for the Nothing Phone 2a. The combo of battery life, display quality, and speed just won me over for all-day, everyday use. With just $350 to spend, here's what budget phones I'd pick. OnePlus Nord N30 5G. This one's a bit of a puzzle. OnePlus basically took their winning formula from the N20 and changed things that work perfectly fine. I've been using this phone for months, and while the 108-megapixel camera genuinely surprised me with its detail and 3x lossless zoom, the switch back to an LCD panel after the gorgeous OLED on the N20 feels like a step backward. The 120Hz refresh rate keeps everything smooth, and honestly, the performance with that Snapdragon 695 handles gaming and multitasking better than you'd expect at this price point. Battery life is solid. I'm easily getting through full days, sometimes pushing into a second day with lighter use, but here's what bugs me. The build quality feels cheaper than its predecessor, and while the screen gets bright enough for outdoor use, you'll miss that OLED contrast once you've experienced it. Perfect for anyone who wants reliable performance and doesn't mind sacrificing premium display tech for a capable camera system. Motorola Edge 2024. This one completely redefines what you can get at this price. It feels like Motorola finally decided to compete seriously with the big boys. I ran this thing through everything from heavy gaming to video streaming, and the Snapdragon 7S Gen 2 paired with a gorgeous 6.6-inch OLED display makes it feel way more premium than its price suggests. The screen calibration is spot on. Colors look natural and balanced, not oversaturated like some budget phones. What really impressed me was the 68-watt fast charging. I can go from dead to nearly full in under an hour, and the 5000 mAh battery easily lasts a full day even with the 144Hz refresh rate cranked up. Sure, it feels a bit light in hand, and the camera system, while decent, can't quite match Pixel or Galaxy quality. But for daily photography, it's more than capable. This is perfect for anyone who wants a premium experience without flagship pricing and doesn't need the absolute best camera performance. If I had $350, I'd buy the Motorola Edge 2024. That OLED display and overall premium feel make it worth the extra investment over the Note N30's decent but compromised experience. Now, if I only had $400 to spend, these are the budget phones I'd buy. Nothing Phone 3a. This phone is a breath of fresh air in the sea of identical budget phones, and it immediately impressed me with its premium feel and clean software. In my testing, the Nothing OS was the star of the show. It's so smooth and free of the bloatware you usually see at this price point that it just makes the phone a joy to use for daily tasks. The 120Hz AMOLED display feels responsive, and the design is something you'd expect on a much more expensive device. While I found the performance with its Snapdragon 7S Gen 3 processor perfectly fine for browsing and social media, it definitely isn't a gaming powerhouse and can struggle with graphically intense titles. The camera is surprisingly capable, with a solid 50-megapixel main sensor and even a 2x telephoto lens, which is a rare find in this category, though its ultra-wide is just average. For anyone who values a polished user experience and unique design over raw gaming specs, this is the one to get. Xiaomi Poco X7 Pro. The Xiaomi Poco X7 Pro is all about one thing: raw, unapologetic power for a budget price. I was genuinely shocked by how well this phone handles demanding games. The MediaTek Dimensity 8400 Ultra chip runs circles around most of the competition in this price range, delivering a smooth gaming experience that feels like it belongs on a flagship. The screen is big, bright, and fast at 120Hz, and the massive 6000 mAh battery just goes and goes, easily lasting me through a heavy day of use. Plus, it charges incredibly fast with its 90-watt brick. However, that power comes with compromises. The software is cluttered with pre-installed apps and ads, which really drags down the day-to-day experience. And while the main camera is decent, the 8-megapixel ultra-wide is a letdown, making it a poor choice for photography enthusiasts. This phone is the undisputed champ for mobile gamers or anyone who prioritizes performance and battery life above all else and is willing to overlook the messy software. If I had to buy one, I would choose the Nothing Phone 3a because its clean software and premium design provide a much better daily user experience, which I value more than the raw gaming power of the Poco. If my budget was $450, these are the budget phones I'd go for. Google Pixel 9a. Honestly, the Pixel 9a is all about bringing Google's flagship brain down to a price that feels like a steal. The moment you pick it up, it doesn't scream budget. The recycled plastic back has this smooth matte finish that feels great, and the metal frame gives it a solid, reassuring heft. What really got me was the camera. I took some shots in pretty poor lighting, and it pulled out details I didn't think were possible at this price point, which is classic Google computational photography at work. The screen is a bright, sharp 120Hz OLED, and while it's fantastic, the bezels are a bit thicker than on its pricier siblings. The Tensor G4 chip is plenty snappy for daily scrolling and apps, and the battery life from the 5100 mAh cell easily got me through a full day. But you're not buying this for hardcore gaming. This is the phone for someone who wants the best point-and-shoot camera experience, a clean Android interface with years of updates, and a dose of AI magic without paying flagship prices. OnePlus 12R. The OnePlus 12R is a completely different beast, and frankly, it's a performance monster for the money. The first thing that hits you is the display. It's a huge, gorgeous AMOLED screen that's ridiculously bright and smooth, making everything from gaming to just scrolling social media feel incredibly fluid. In my testing, I threw games like Genshin Impact at it, and thanks to the flagship great Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip inside, it just doesn't throttle or stutter. The battery life is the real showstopper, though the 5500 mAh cell is massive and just goes on forever, which honestly ruined other phones for me. Where's the catch? The camera, the main 50-megapixel sensor, is perfectly capable and takes great photos, but the supporting ultra-wide and macro lenses feel like a total afterthought compared to the Pixel. This phone is for the power user on a budget, the person person who prioritizes raw speed, a best-in-class display, and battery life that banishes charging anxiety, and is willing to trade camera versatility to get it. If it were my money, I would buy the OnePlus 12R because the raw performance and phenomenal battery life deliver a near flagship experience that is just too good to ignore at this price. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you pick the best budget phones for you. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. Links to all of these products mentioned in this video will be in the description. Alright, peace out.